Now, the National Association of Nigeria Travel Agencies says that Turkish Airlines is still selling tickets in local currency. This clarification report follows reports on some media platforms alleging that the airline's passengers in Nigeria will now purchase tickets in US dollars. Susan Aporiaye, president of the National Association of the Nigerian Travel Agencies, who said the report is entirely true, explained that the airline sells only the highest inventory of tickets in Nigeria, and this class of tickets is still available in local currency. Okay, we have Ugo Aliago, public policy analyst, live here in the studios with me this morning to kickstart my weekend on this side of the Atlantic. Great to see you. Discussing 3 million barrels of seized vessel in Equatorial Guinea suspected to be carrying stolen Nigerian crude. This is an international organized crime. That's the way I'm putting it. Do you agree with me?
Yes, I agree. So let's look at the OPEC statistics about Nigeria's crude oil theft. So OPEC said 2.3 million barrels of crude has been lost in the month of July 2022. And then January to July, Nigeria had lost 28 million barrels of crude oil to theft. And then first quarter 2021, Nigeria lost $1 billion to crude oil theft. Because of these financial leakages, it has affected Nigeria from not achieving the OPEC production quota of 1.8 million barrels
per day.
That is a huge problem. Every country that is into oil production, oil exploration, they have issue of crude oil theft. It's not peculiar to Nigeria. But other countries are bringing in measures. For instance, in Mexico in 2015, what they did was they tried to bring about stiffer penalties, jail terms. They increased the jail terms, for those involved in crude oil theft. We've been having this issue of crude oil theft. There's a syndicate, there's a cartel. There are people profiteering from crude oil theft.
Or people with deep pockets.
People with deep pockets, not just that, people profiteering from this business, right? And then government seems, the security agency, like the Navy seems complacent, according to the report. They seem complacent. So I feel there's need for stiffer penalties for those involved in crude oil theft, not just stiffer penalties. There is need to bring about modern security gadgets, like drone cameras, to track the collaborators and those involved in this.
When analysts like yourself speak about drone cameras and what have you, and I keep asking, were you going to put those cameras in charge of BOSIN, or are you going to put it in charge of the naval and the security agencies themselves? Because you're going to put it in their hands as well.
Yes, you're going to put it in their hands, right?
Yes.
So that's what I'm talking about, modern security technologies to track this.
If you put it in their hands, what will they do with it?
Now that comes with bringing in private sector partnership. Because we'll have IOCs in our oil markets in Nigeria.
Yes.
Right? And these IOCs, they are recording massive losses due to huge crude oil theft.
Yes.
So it's a problem.
In fact, theft is taking a whole lot more now than vandalism.
So you see the revenue leakages. And you have to understand that crude oil is our economic mainstay.
Do we need to do something about the security agencies themselves? That is where I'm going. I'm not changing. I'm not talking about changing the security chiefs.
So
if there is a new way in which we can have a new security architecture, that's what I'm talking about. An architecture that is tech-based, and it could be tracked even beyond.
Not just being tech-based.
Yes.
We need to look at how to sanitize the whole system.
I agree with you.
Because there's been conversation about security architecture, having new security architecture. It's very good. It's workable. We need to sanitize the system. We need to bring about a new roadmap in this system. And then the consciousness that we are losing a lot. This is an economy where we are borrowing profusely. This is an economy where we are still suffering from the fallout of the COVID-19.
Okay,
so there are huge problems, right? So if this revenue leakages continues, it's going to impact hugely on our reserve.
Yeah, because we don't even have enough FX supply.
We don't have enough FX supply.
$1 billion last
first quarter last year.
Of last year. If you, by the time you add this year to it with oil prices, and it seems that this thing will continue. So we need to make frantic efforts. Government has to be decisive, right? Otherwise, I like the word decisive. I like the word
government
decisive.
has to be decisive.
Yes.
We shouldn't sit back because this thing continues. Do you know how much we are losing?
I can smell the money.
So, and then you are not meeting up your production quota. So what does it tell you? We are regressing. You're having negative growth in that area.
You know, sometimes I think about the oil theft and what's going on there, and I'm just thinking, if Nigeria is a bank, by now it would have the central bank would have withdrawn its license. Because
we're losing every day.
Because if workers in a bank are stealing so much money on a daily basis, I'm not sure if any money will be left there.
So we're losing every day.
But let's talk about because that's to talk about the ocean business, maritime, oil business, freight. So we're going to go up in the skies and talk about this. Nanta, Turkish Airlines.
Yes.
What clarification do we need about these tickets which is being sold in Naira? What currency should tickets be sold in Nigeria?
Okay, so let's start with the basics. The basics says that if you do, let's look at the aviation sector, the basics. So if you do business in Nigeria as an operator in the aviation business in Nigeria, you do your business in what? In Naira. And then if you want to repatriate your proceeds, you repatriate what? In dollars, in foreign currency.
That's fair enough.
Yeah, that's fair enough. And then we're having a lot of issues in the aviation sector. There's the aviation politics, you know.
Aviation politics?
Yeah, now the aviation politics, I mean, in the essence is that there are a lot of issues in that sector. They understand.
Okay.
So the challenge now is to look at how we can raise the standard of our local airlines to start operating, you know, looking at this crisis. The conversation around selling tickets in dollars. What Nayata said was that that story is not true. That some media outfits have been peddling that story, that they've been there are airlines selling, the Turkish airline and some other airlines selling in dollars. Well, I think much of the conversation should focus around how we can make our local airlines equipped to come in and then use this opportunity because there's crisis.
To increase their game.
Yes, to increase their game.
Size of the business.
Yes, because
what have you.
Why I'm talking about this is that it's not that I'm not interested in the issue of the conversation around increasing prices, but I feel this is an opportunity for local airlines to up their game and come into the business. And then, because Emirates has suspended their airlines, more international airlines are raising their prices because they want to meet with operating costs.
Does this not make a case, a valid case, my friend?
Yes.
For a Nigerian flag?
That's a national carrier.
Yes.
It makes a case. But who is
a very strong case.
It makes a very strong case. But that's been the conversation. Who is to implement it? Do you know how long we've been talking about having a national carrier?
Yeah, because if you have the kind of Nigerian Airways of the 70s right now on the ground with about 30 aircraft, by the way, I'm sure by now we just tell Turkish Airlines, whatever, and say, look, if you don't play by the game,
you can leave.
Then you can leave.
So the conversation around increasing airfares for this international line, because they want to make enough to ensure that they meet their operating costs, to ensure that they are able to do business and then not stay in debt.
But again, I see the point because perhaps if the airlines like Turkish Airlines feel, and I'm saying this just as looking at both sides of the coin and playing the devil's advocate, oh, well, if I can't repatriate my proceeds, my revenue from Nigeria because of the dollar scarcity that the country has, well, I better sell it in that direct currency so it goes straight into my dollar account and I could just take it out. But the law is law and the rule is rule. If you're to do business in Nigeria, in Naira, you got to do it in Naira.
You have to do it in Naira.
There's no excuse
for
that.
So if you're selling in dollars, we don't have enough dollar in Nigeria. We don't have enough.
You're putting serious pressure.
You're putting serious pressure. So there's scarcity. People who want to do pay school fees abroad. People want to do one or two things abroad. They apply to CBN. Do you know how long it takes?
You put pressure on the naira because that's what it means. Because folks will have to look for the bags of naira to buy the dollar
pressure on
to
naira.
pay you for a ticket.
I think the conversation should be around the international airline obeying the rules of operation. There are rules of operation, standard rules of operation. Like if you're doing business in Nigeria, you have to do your business in what? In naira, in the local currency. And then if you want to repatriate some of those funds, you can repatriate in dollars. It's all fine.
Give me an outlook on the aviation sector in Nigeria, just to say, thank God it's Friday with you.
Yeah, I think the growth for the aviation sector is positive. But quite frankly, the local airlines should look at upping their games and take advantage of the current crisis.
Never let the good crisis go to waste.
No, never let the good crisis. So take advantage of this crisis and then look at how most of these local airlines can start taking international trips and look at how they can invest in the business fully on international.
Like Airpeace is doing globally now.
Yes, Airpeace is doing globally. So all of that airlines should take cues. So it now depends on getting new planes, meeting up to standard and meeting up to the international regulations, and then ensuring that yes, Nigeria becomes a reference point when it comes to international travels, and then stop relying much on international airlines.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. Have a great weekend.
Yeah,
enjoy it, and see you next time here on GBR.